Good night. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before I walked on the platform, I saw a very bright moon. And I saw some very bright and happy faces. I saw the bright and happy faces of the Barbados Labour Party and its supporters. And in the midst of storm, I wonder why we are so happy. My message may not be a happy message tonight, except that at the end of my short speech, I will promise you the happiness of change in this country. Change of this government that afflicts the lives of the ordinary people and the not so ordinary people in this country. But let me begin this way. For as long as I come to a platform in this constituency of Christchurch South, I ask you to remind me to pay tribute to the Honorable Sir Harold Bernard St. John, who represented this constituency in the Parliament of Barbados and across the Caribbean and across Europe and the United States of America, and did so with pride and showed and demonstrated that this constituency can produce excellence in representation. Tonight, wherever the spirit of Sir Harold St. John resides, we say thank you and we pay tribute to you. We come to you, and when I say we, I mean the Barbados Labour Party. We come to you, the people of Christchurch South and the people of Christchurch and the people of Barbados, at a time where the physical infrastructure of the country we love so much is in decay. We are standing up the street from Worthing, and we in Christchurch and we in Christchurch South now know what is physical decay. Don't let them tell us that we are lying. We know the truth. That was not my fault. We come to you at a time not only of physical decay, but we come to you at a time when the human infrastructure in government is displaying moral decay. We come to you at a time when your representative speaks on behalf of a party that displays gross incompetence in government, laziness. And if that were all, perhaps you would forgive them. But I know that you know that there's an awful stench of corruption flowing through the corridors, not only of this country, but of this constituency. And the time for change will come. Be patient, it will come. Your representative, and let me pause and say this. I have called the name Sir Harold St. John here tonight. I will not call the name of the current representative here tonight and do disservice to that patriot called Sir Harold St. John. But he has absented himself from your problems. He finds that the seat at the bar at Durant's Golf Club is a more desirable place than to immerse himself among you, the people of Christchurch South, and to hear your problems. That is the quality of representation that he's brought to you. And I understand that over the past few weeks, he has sent two strange objects knocking on your doors, one called Patrick Gollop, and the other one, I don't know his name, and he doesn't say who he is. But he is now representing you by agency. He has two agents out there telling you to vote for him next time. You know better, and we know better. I will say this briefly for my own stewardship. About a year ago, I was nominated to be the candidate for this constituency. And one of the first things I did, I went among the constituents and I sought to identify certain pressing needs that people have. All is not well in this country. All is not well in this constituency. We have the rich and we have the not so rich. But as long as we have problems among poor people, we have one large problem. And I went among the not so rich. And I went among poor people in this constituency. And I identified needs that they have. And I have tried in my own way, without being boastful, to meet some of those needs by certain social programs. I will have time to spell them out, not tonight. But in pursuing those social programs, I have identified two things. One, let the fire truck pass, please. In pursuing those programs, I have identified two things. One, that a need exists for social programs in this constituency. And the other thing I have identified is the neglect of the representative, the current representative for this constituency. I have come into a vacuum of political and social activity. That political activity, that vacuum created by the absence of your current representative, that is what I've come to. And we must fill it, and we must change it. You know, they say that the people of Worthing were wrong. They tell the people of Worthing that what they saw in the middle of the road was not what they saw and smelled. But beyond that, they also say to Mia Motley and the opposition in Parliament that they're wrong about the Public Accounts Committee. That brings me to my topic tonight, Mr. Chairman, and you have to give me a little time. A little time. I come tonight to speak to you on the topic power, law, and the abuse of Parliament. And I want to put the case for the Public Accounts Committee tonight. You would have heard over the past few days this controversy that has now been created, in which the government is seeking to question the power and the authority of the Public Accounts Committee, simply because the chairman of that committee is the esteemed leader of this party. They seek to call into question the authority of that body. It is a body set up by law. It is not Mia Motley's body. The Public Accounts Committee of this country is that body set up within Parliament that seeks to oversee the public accounts of this country. Don't let the long words fool you. Government's money and government spending must be subject to the scrutiny of the people of this country. It is your money. The money does not belong to Stuart, nor the members of the government. It is your money. And when your money is being spent, Parliament sets up a body called the Public Accounts Committee that acts as a watchdog to ensure that your monies are spent in a manner that the law says they ought to be spent. The Public Accounts Committee has existed in this country for years and years, and no one has ever questioned its authority. You have a Public Accounts Committee in the Parliament of Britain for centuries. No one has ever challenged its authority. You have committees of similar nature in parliaments throughout the Commonwealth, India, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and even in the United States of America. If you fail to attend a Senate committee hearing, you can be arrested by the Sergeant at Arms in the Congress of the United States. It is as serious as that. And it is as serious as that because the people's money is sacred. The money does not belong to the government. It is your money. They are the trustees for your money. And that is why the Public Accounts Committee must be respected. You would have seen in Barbados today an article by a team of lawyers. They say that they represent the 3 persons who were summoned to appear before the committee. Now, those 3 persons were not chosen arbitrarily. You choose the Minister of Finance because all monies come through the Ministry of Finance. You choose the Minister of Housing because the Minister of Housing is responsible for the project. And you choose both ministers respectively in the persons of Lashley and Kelman. And Kelman, by the way, is the most intelligent man in the DLP. And you would have seen some kind of a letter or public statement issued on behalf of these persons who claim that they don't want to appear before that committee. You would have read it in Barbados today. Well, I say to you, in Christchurch South, you would have seen the sewage in Worthing. I say to you, in Barbados, that the statement issued on behalf of those ministers is legal sewage that is flowing into the halls of Parliament in this country. It is absolute pseudo-legalistic nonsense. Let us get back to the law. The Auditor General of this country has a legal mandate to report to Parliament on the functionings, on spending as he sees it. Public monies, he reports to Parliament on that, and you would have seen over the last few months and years how he has been reporting as to this government's conduct in relation to public spending in this country. Must there be no recourse to Christchurch South? Must we sit and read a report of the Auditor General and find ourselves unable to do anything about government misspending in this country? That is why the Public Accounts Committee is there, as a watchdog over government's mishandling of allocated funds for public spending in this country. Allied to the efforts of the Auditor General is the Public Accounts Committee. When the Auditor General reports to Parliament, and he reports as to infelicities, as to wrongdoing or suspected wrongdoing, the Public Accounts Committee has a public responsibility as a trustee of the people's interests to make an examination of spending of your monies. That is all they're doing. And in the discharge of that function, Ms. Mia Motley decided, correctly so, to pursue an examination of government spending. How much time I have? 3. I didn't bring my glasses. This is 30 minutes. He says 3. I told somebody that after 18 minutes of my speech, my first bead of perspiration comes down. I ain't sweating yet. I want to sweat, Mr. Chairman. 3 minutes to sweat, he says. I can shorten it. I can take the three minutes. I can take them. I'm an obedient son. The PAC has the authority to summon witnesses in the persons of the Ministers of Finance, Housing, and the former Minister of Housing. They are summoned by the PAC. They're summoned by a document signed by Ms. Mia Motley, lawfully and legitimately, so she has that power. And they are called not as accused persons. They are called as witnesses. She has that power under the law so to do. I ask you tonight, Christchurch South, what objection could an honest man have to being summoned merely as a witness, to be questioned by a Public Accounts Committee? Why you run for a lawyer? Why run for a team of lawyers? to write a lot of legal sewage in defiance of what the law in Barbados mandates, that the Public Accounts Committee is legitimately the watchdog over your monies, the public finances of this country. Instead of honoring the law, they are resorting to power. You see, a lot of people, when they don't have the law on their side, sometime in the middle of the night, they remember, look, I have the power. The law may be on your side, but tonight, ladies and gentlemen, power is on the side of the Democratic Labour Party. And if Ms. Motley decides to pursue it further, or if she decides not to pursue it further, we want to remind the government that greater power lies in the hands here tonight. Greater power lies in the hands of Christchurch South and all of Barbados, and the time is coming, and that time is coming quickly. How much more time I have, Chairman? My God. If these people call the government, decide that they are not going before that committee, I urge you, the people of Barbados, to deem them with me political rogues and vagabonds who are using power to suppress law in this country. And we have the ultimate power to remove them when the time comes, and that time is coming soon. They may not feel that they're answerable to the PAC tonight, but they're answerable to you. Mr. Duguid is mounting the platform. This is the shortest speech I've ever made, but enjoy the rest of the meeting. Good night, and God bless you. Thank you so much.